balitang hatid ay buhay at pag-asa. Kasama si Yvette dito sa Marhay na Bareta.
Magandang gabi sa ating mga tagapakinig ngayong araw na ito. Dito lamang sa ating istasyong Care 104.3 DWAY-FM. At kayo po ay nakikinig ng ating programang Marhay na Bareta. Kami ay nagagalak na kayo ay makasama sa ating programa ng pagbabasa ng Biblia. Sa araw na ito, tayo ay nagsasama-sama upang simulan ang isang makabuluhang paglalakbay sa pamamagitan ng salita ng Diyos. Bakit nga ba mahalaga ang pagbabasa ng Biblia? Ang Biblia ay hindi lamang isang aklat. Ito ay buhay na salita ng Diyos na nagbibigay sa atin ng gabay, karunungan at inspirasyon sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay. At sa ating programa, layunin nating palalimin ang ating pananampalataya. Sa pamamagitan ng regular na pagbabasa, pakikinig at pagninilay-nilay, mas makikilala natin ang Diyos at ang kanyang mga plano para sa atin. Sama-sama nating pag-aralan at pag-usapan ang mga aral ng Biblia upang magtulungan sa ating espiritual na pag-unlad. At hinihikayat din natin ang bawat isa na isabuhay ang mga natututunan, ang inyong mga maririnig na salita ng Diyos. At habang tayo ay sama-sama sa pagbalalakbay na ito ng pagbabasa ng salita ng Diyos dito sa ating programang Marhay na Bareta, naway maging bukas ang ating mga puso at isipan sa mga aral na ibibigay ng Diyos sa atin. Muli, maligayang pakikinig sa ating programa ng pagbabasa ng Biblia, ang Marhay na Bareta. At naway pagpalain tayo ng Diyos sa ating pagsusumikap na mas makilala siya sa pamamagitan ng kanyang salita. Narito ang ating Marhay na Bareta sa araw na ito.
Judges 8. Now, the Ephraimites asked Gideon, "Why have you treated us like this? Why did you call us when you went to fight Midian?" And they challenged him vigorously. But he answered them, "What have I accomplished compared to you? Aren't the gleanings of Ephraim's grapes better than the full grape harvest of Abiezer? God gave Oreb and Zeeb, the Midianite leaders, into your hands. What was I able to do compared to you?" As this, their resentment against him subsided. Gideon and his 300 men, exhausted yet keeping up the pursuit, came to the Jordan and crossed it. He said to the men of Sukkot, "Give my troops some bread. They are worn out and I am still pursuing Zebah and Salmunna, the kings of Midian." But the officials of Sukkot said, "Do you already have the hands of Zebah and Salmunna in your possession? Why should you give bread to your troops?" Then Gideon replied, "Just for that? When the Lord has given Zebah and Zalmunna into your hand? Just for that? When the Lord has given Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, I will tear your flesh with desert thorns and briars." From there he went to Peniel and made the same request of them. But they answered as the men of Sukkot had. So he said to the men of Peniel, "When I return in triumph, I will tear down this tower." Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor with a force of about 15,000 men, all that were left of the armies of the eastern peoples. 120,000 sword men had fallen. Gideon went up by the route of the nomads east of Nobah and Jorbeha and attacked the unsuspecting army. Zebah and Zalmunna, the two kings of Midian, fled. But he pursued them and captured them, routing their entire army. Gideon, son of Joash, then returned from the battle of the pass of Heres. He caught a young man of Sukkoth and questioned him. And the young man wrote down for him the names of 77 officials of Sukkoth, the elders of the town. Then Gideon came and said to the men of Succoth, "Here are Zebah and Zalmunna, about whom you taunted me by saying, 'Do you already have the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna in your possession? Why should we give you bread to your exhausted men? Why should we give bread to your exhausted men?'" He took the elders of the town and taught the men of Succoth a lesson by pursuing them with desert thorns and briars. He also pulled down the tower of Peniel and killed the men of the town. Then he asked Zebah and Zalmunna, "What kind of men did you kill at Tabor?" "Men like you," they answered, "each one with the bearing of a price." Gideon replied, "Those were my brothers, the sons of my own mother. As surely as the Lord lives, if you had spared their lives, I would not kill you." Turning to Jether, his oldest son, he said, "Kill them." But Jether did not draw his sword because he was only a boy and was afraid. Zebah and Zalmunna said, "Come, do it yourself. As is the man, so his strength." So Gideon stepped forward and killed them and took the ornaments of their camels' necks. The Israelites said to Gideon, "Rule over us, you, your son, and your grandson, because you have saved us from the hand of Midian." But Gideon told them, "I will not rule over you, nor will my son rule over you. The Lord will rule over you." And he said, "I do have one request, that each of you give me an earring from your share of the plunder." It was the custom of the Ishmaelites to wear gold earrings. They answered, "We'll be glad to give them." So they spread out a garment, and each of them threw a ring from his plunder onto it. The weight of the gold rings he asked for came to 1,700 shekels. The weight of the gold rings he asked for came to 1,700 shekels, not counting the ornaments, the pendants, and the purple garments worn by the king of Midian, or the chains that were on their camels' necks. Gideon made the gold into an ephod, which he placed in Ophrah, his town. All Israel prostituted themselves by worshipping it there, and it became a snare to Gideon and his family. Thus Midian was subdued before the Israelites and did not raise its head again. During Gideon's lifetime, the land had peace 40 years. Jerubbaal, son of Joash, went back home to live. He had 70 sons of his own, for he had many wives. His concubine, who lived in Shechem, also bore him a son, whom he named Abimelech. Gideon, son of Joash, died at a good old age and was buried in the tomb of his father Joash in Ophrah of Abiezrites. No sooner had Gideon died than the Israelites again prostituted themselves to the Baals. They set up Baal-berith as their god, and did not remember the Lord their God, who had rescued them from the hands of all their enemies on every side. They also failed to show any loyalty to the family of Jerubbaal. This is Gideon, in spite of all the good things he had done for them.
Mga kapatid, sa pagtatapos ng ating programa sa pagbabasa ng salita ng Diyos, dito sa ating programang Marhay na Bareta, tayo ay nagagalak sa mga aral at inspirasyon ating natamo o ating napakinggan mula sa salita ng Diyos. Naway, ang mga katotohanan ito ay maging gabay at lakas natin sa araw-araw ng pamumuhay. Nagpapasalamat tayo sa Panginoon sa pagkakataong ito na magkasama-sama tayo sa pag-aaral at pakikinig ng kanyang mga salita. Nawa sa ating mga puso ay dalhin natin ang mga salitang ito. Tayo'y manalangin. Aming Amang nasa langit, salamat po sa mga oras na ito ng pagninilay-nilay at pag-aaral ng iyong mga salita. Naway ang mga aral na aming natamo ay magbunga ng pagbabago sa aming mga buhay. Gabayan mo po kami sa araw-araw naming gawain. At sa aming pagtulog ngayong gabi, Panginoon, kami po ay magkaroon ng maayos na kapahingahan na nagmumula sa iyo. Ipinagkakatiwala namin sa iyo ang aming mga puso at isipan. Naway patuloy mo kaming palakasin at pagpalain. Sa pangalan ng aming Diyos na si Jesus. Amen and Amen. Hanggang sa muli nating pagkikita-kita at pakikinig ng mga salita ng Diyos. Naway ang kapayapaan at biyaya ng Diyos ay sumainyo. At patuloy tayong magkaisa sa pag-ibig ni Kristo. Pagpalain tayong lahat ng Panginoon. Ito po ang inyong programang Marhay na Bareta.
Mas nagpatibay ba ng iyong pakikinig ng Marhay na Bareta ang iyong paniniwala at pananampalataya? Maaari kang makibahagi ng iyong realizations sa pamamagitan ng pag-text sa aming contact information 0998-843-0573 o mag-email sa info@dway.febc.ph. Maaari ring magmensahe sa aming FB page na Care 104.3 The Way FM.